thought I'd jump on here a minute and check in with you all. How are y'all doing? Today's a couple of days after Christmas. No, one day after Christmas. Today's the 26th. I can't keep track. We had a very low-key Christmas this year. Very stress-free Christmas this year. As you know, I do hauls all through the year, so I'm always picking up items that I know that are going to be used as gift and gift bags or for certain people, and been trying to do better about keeping it all together, and I feel like I did a fairly good job on that. We went to Michelle's on Christmas Eve, and we actually went early so we could spend the day with her, because my oldest stepson wasn't getting off work till later in the evening, so they couldn't be there till later, and got to see one of my brother-in-laws I haven't seen in a while. So it was a good Christmas Eve. Now, Christmas Day was even quieter. It's just me, Kenny, and Eli. We voted to stay home. We did. Omi and Connie was going to her kids', and I know I could have gotten in the car and went, but I wanted them to enjoy. You know, if crowds get too big, sometimes it's hard for people to socialize. And, of course, we were invited back to Michelle's, and I said, honey, I think we're just going to stay home, and that's what we did. And I think, right decision. I was exhausted, still exhausted, but I just wanted to jump on here for a minute and hope that each and every one of you had a good Christmas. Are y'all making any New Year's resolutions? I don't do that anymore. Resolutions are meant to be broken. My goal every day, not by the year, is just to be as healthy as I can be, as happy as I can be, and enjoy the people around me. That's my goal. To stay active and have a good time. Yeah, have a good time. But tonight's video is Tammy. I think she called it burnt sugar icing. She shows you how to make it. She made some pumpkin cookies that I can tell you are really good. You'll see them in a follow-up video to this one, because we do taste test on them. Didn't do the taste test on camera, but I can tell you about it. But on with Tammy. This was right before Christmas when she was doing pumpkin cookies, and she's showing us how to make, what did I tell you it was? Burnt sugar icing, I believe. Tammy will explain better.
Hello, everybody. Angie, I just wanted to show you how to make this cooked icing. And I've got my mom's hat on today. Go Devils. Anyway, don't look at me, I'm a fright. I've already made the banana cookies, and this is the burnt sugar frosting, and you actually cook it. So I've started out with my butter in my pan, and it's melting. 4 tablespoons. And then it's 6 tablespoons of dark brown sugar. And this is on, well, it's on low heat right at the moment, but I'll turn it up to medium heat and bring it to a boil. And I put a little bit of salt in there. I do always use salted butter, but with bacon recipes, you always have to have a little bit of salt. So I'm adding my sugar. And my mom would kill me. She was a measurer. That's why I put her hat on. 4, 5. I'm a dumper. She's a measurer. And I mean exact-o-matic. And I can't find my measuring spoons. They're aluminum. And I know they're here somewhere. But anyway, so the brown sugar is finished. And I've had my butter melted. And you keep it stirring. You don't want to let it scorch, because then you'll ruin it. That's why I have it on low heat. But when the sugar is completely melted here, then I will add the cream, vanilla, and powdered sugar after it boils. After it's off the heat. And when I say cream, I mean half and half. You can use heavy whipping cream, but it's not necessary, or whole milk. 2% is not milk to me, it's water. I grew up on cow's milk. And butter. Okay, it's not melted yet. And I'm going to turn the heat up just a little bit. Anyway, you stir that around until it's completely melted. I'm going to go ahead and add my cream and stir it while I'm doing pouring. And I love this little Anchor Hawking measuring cup. It has tablespoons and teaspoons on the side of it. I cannot remember where I picked that up at. It may have been the DG, and it may have been Big Lots. I don't remember, but handy dandy. Then I don't have to find my spoons. So I will find them when I least expect it. Anyway, I should have got out my whisk. And I do my dishes as I go. I don't like to have a big sink and a big mess after I'm finished. This was my Aunt Rona's. She always had banana cookies with this burnt maple sugar frosting. And I couldn't find the recipe. And her children, they would make them, but they wouldn't share. So I accidentally the other day found it. So it was a woman had actually posted from a really old recipe book that her mother had, or no, it was her grandmother's. So hip hip hooray, Merry Christmas. But the banana cookies are super easy. They're super messy because it's real sticky batter. And I messed up. I should have creamed my dark brown sugar with my butter ahead of time, but I didn't. And then it got all sticky. Okay, I've got this incorporated now, and it will cook down. Angie needs to make some more butter because I'm out. Bacon takes a lot of butter. But her and I like to wear toboggans around the house. And I had found these a couple years ago that Mom had made. That was a Christmas gift that she used to make for everybody. And I did the same. So when I come back, we'll be adding the sifted powdered sugar, which is half a cup, and half a teaspoon of vanilla. Or you could also add maple syrup if you had not the fake stuff. I'm talking about actual maple syrup, and it is out there. You just have to find it. And if you recall, the Food City had it on clearance because nobody wanted to buy it, and I got it for on the cheap, so I bought 2 or 3 bottles. I don't use it very often, so, but I have it now. But you could add some maple syrup at this point when you're cooking it, if you wanted an extra maple flavor to it. And when this is finished, we'll come back. Okay, boys and girls, this is the burnt sugar and butter, but it's not burned. You bring it just to a boil, and then you remove it from heat and add the vanilla and the powdered sugar, which you have to sift through a sifter. And I will try to capture that. It's kind of hard working at the stove, but this is what it's supposed to look like, and you're fine. And my mother would call this softball stage. You just bring it to a boil. You don't let it continue to boil or it will caramelize. But yeah, this is the same way you make caramel. So off we go. Okay, everybody, here is the banana bread cookies, or banana cookies as my aunt used to say. And then here we've got our cooked frosting, and it's already starting to set up. So we've got to get the frosting on these cookies, and then I use a layer of wax paper, and then I do my next one, and the batch of cookies makes that many, and they are good, and they're not real sweet, but that icing is sweet, so you'll see when I get finished. Hi everybody, I'm back. I'm just gonna stand in front of the fireplace for a minute. I gotta chill. Got the cookies done. I think it's time for a coffee break. Angie will get to taste test those tomorrow. But one thing I did wrong, and this was the first time I've made it in a long time, but I added too much powdered sugar and it got stiff on me too quickly. You make it a little runnier, and if you've got a helper, which I don't, and nobody wants the furry ones to help. I tried putting nuts on some and sprinkles on another one, but by the time I got them there, it was already set up. So that's what I'll do different next time. I guess I will show you what they look like, but my aunt's looked smoother. And I just love these containers that have the cover. But that's what they look like when they're finished. And I overcooked my cookies a little bit too much, I think. My oven is wonky right now. I've been nursing it for 2 years. And it's time for a new one. It'll go from 350 to 400, and sometimes it'll go from 350 to 300, so you have to constantly watch it. And I've got a thermometer on the inside that I'm there with my flashlight and keeping an eye on it, but it doesn't always work out for me, especially baking bread, and that's why I've not done my sourdough in a long time. I've got to get a new oven. Santa Claus. But anyway, and here's one of the fabric ornaments I've been working on too. I think I'm gonna make 3 more of them, but I'm having a hard time. Can't find fabric. I don't have a stash. And pins, straight pins. Yeah, it's like, this is ridiculous. And ribbon. This little 1/4 of an inch ribbon. This is from my stash. I couldn't find any anywhere. So frustrating. But it'll work out, and we'll all have Christmas anyway. And I plan on going to my church service and just enjoying the time. And it is what it is, as my Uncle Steve says. Have a good one. Bye.